Check. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Gooseneck Gamer, and we're back, rebranded now as the PML Red Zone Fantasy Report. I got two of my favorite hosts with me, Nefarious and Fallen. Nefarious, say what's up to the people, bro.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy is Nefarious, as Goose just mentioned, and we are here for your PML fantasy show. I like the new name, Red Zone Fantasy Report. I like that. Let's get it going. I'm excited to get going about week 8.
Sweet. Fallen, say what's up to the people.
How's it going, guys? We're back again with some fantasy matchups. We're going to go over week 7 and go into week 8. We're here with a new name. We're excited for it. We appreciate you guys watching.
Awesome. Let's get into it. Nefarious, go ahead, kick us off, man. Where we at, man? Week 8 preview show. Talk to him.
So first, we're going to go about waivers, as we always do, and we had quite a few again this week. We had a couple from you, Goose. You're dropping Jalen Guyton, the wide receiver that's not even breaking 50 downs played on the season so far. And you're also dropping Demir Bird, who's actually slowly became a afterthought in the Patriots offense. In response to that, you will be adding Josh Allen, who's got a new user who just joined the league. Congratulations on making it into PML, and we're happy to have you. Hopefully you last in that tough division. And then you also added Taywan Taylor from the New York Giants. So a couple big moves from you this week. Then we're going to jump on to Fallen, who also made a couple moves. He dropped John Ross from the Bengals, who's having a tough go of it ever since he came off suspension. And he's also dropping Brett Mayer, the kicker. In corresponding moves, he added Zach Wilson, the quarterback from the Chicago Bears. And then he added Zane Gonzalez, the kicker, to replace Brett Mayer. Then you take a look. Papagreeny also made a move. He dropped the Cowboys defense for the Giants defense, and then he also dropped Drew Lock for Robbie Anderson. And Robbie Anderson, along with Taywan Taylor, were both hot commodities. I believe both of you wanted those players. You actually stole Taywan from him.
Nice.
And in a corresponding move, he stole Robbie Anderson from you, because Taywan was going to be his wide receiver, but I told him, hey, you need a different wide receiver. He ended up choosing Robbie Anderson. So
wow.
That's how you didn't get your last claim.
I got you.
The last but final claim, we have Q, who dropped Curtis Samuel and also added Dawson Knox with that new Bills user. So it's going to be interesting to see what that Bills offense looks like. We had a couple of Bills players get picked up. Maybe there'll be some golden gems with the new user in the league.
Very true. High expectations already, not just on the field, but in fantasy. So expect some hate mail there coming his way.
Oh yeah, and moving on, we got our matchups to go over.
Let me pull those up right now. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you go ahead and pull it up and introduce the matchups to the folks.
Let me see here. Pull that back up. So, kicking off here. Jesus, where's my? So kicking off this week, week 8, we got Dramaman up against Natural. This should be an interesting lineup. Game, is this right? Or am I looking at the previous week? I'm on the previous week, my bad. Wait, is this right? Drama versus Natural?
Yes.
Okay.
That is right.
Okay, cool. Well, I saw stats on Jameis Winston. I was like, oh, my bad. This is week 7's lineup matchups. My apologies, guys. All right, here we go. So week 7's matchups, Dramaman went up against the Natural. Started Jameis Winston at quarterback, which, gave him enough points. He scored more than Lamar Jackson. I don't think any of us would have expected that. Right?
No.
Yeah, for real. Right now, Drama has 74. Right now, a 4-point spread over the Natural. Let me see. Josh Jacobs, is that the sim game?
Yep.
Yeah, I believe that's a forced win.
Yeah. So
Yep. DJ Chark is also a sim game, but DJ Chark will be on the losing side. Gafford. I think that's a sim game as well. I think that might be a sim game as well. Tucker McCann, who just recently played, will have to edit those stats and get those in after the show. And then the Jaguars defense, which is also a forced loss. So I honestly don't see.
it looks like Drama take the win with this one.
Yeah, I don't know. We still got to see everybody else on because he's still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's still got 5 people to put up points, and he's only down by 20. So about 5 points per person.
Derrick
But then
Henry's
you look,
game,
he's got Derrick Henry. Yeah. That's going to be a key factor. If Derrick Henry gets him 10 plus points, it's going to be tough for Natural to come back. But if he has less than 10 points, which is more likely not to happen, then I see Natural coming out with the win. But this week, last week I said it would be for a content point, but unfortunately it wasn't. This week it's going to be for a content point, so we'll look forward to that. I will announce the winners at advance and all that, but it will be for a content point this week. So we'll see how this works out for Natural and Drama. It's going to be a close one.
Very true, very true. I think Derrick Henry is the ticket there. So then we have Papagreeny up against you, Fallen. Let me slide that over so our viewers can see the scores. Right now, Fallen, you got it by about 30-point spread. I don't see any of the guys who are missing.
Papagreeny not coming back.
Not on this one.
Yeah, but Jarvis Landry is a huge pickup for him.
Yeah, he is. I tried to get Landry, and I guess he was the one who grabbed Landry. 32 points. That's great. And he's been putting up points kind of all season, so interesting that he just, got picked up and gave him 32 right away.
Yeah, really, really is interesting that he was out there for so long.
Justin Herbert, is that a sim game?
Yeah, I believe it's a forced win for the Chargers.
Okay.
No, forced win for the Titans.
No, this is the Justin Herbert's Chargers Raiders.
Oh, it's Chargers Raiders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll get numbers from Eckler and Herbert there. I mean, no bonus, but for sure that's going to solidify the win for you.
Yeah, it should, and I think Papagreeny had some disappointing numbers from Nick Chubb.
Oh yeah.
And Mecole Hardman. Those are two guys. I think Leonard Fournette is playing.
Yeah.
He's playing second fiddle to. I think he doesn't play as often. He's not the starter over there in Tampa, but because Ronald Jones is a starter. But Nick Chubb, because Nick Chubb was having a pretty good season, but I think HD when he started losing just started passing. So unfortunately, when that happens, he does get away from the run. Plus, he was playing the Ravens, so the front makes it really difficult to run on.
True, very true.
Yeah. And a big, I think you're going to come out with the one, and the big reason is Alvin Kamara. His golden boy is not in the lineup because he's on a bye this week, so that definitely did not help him. But yeah, I don't see him coming back. I think you're going to take this one clean.
I agree. Moving on to our next lineup, we have Burn against Nefarious. Nefarious, yourself up against Burn. Pulling up scores for our viewers. You might get something out of Philip Lindsay. That game hadn't been played yet. But right now you're down 20 points, 19 to be exact. And I don't know what Matt Stafford did, so I don't know what those stats are going to do. But Burn might pull out with this one, but you could maybe. I don't know. It's going to be tough.
I'm going to need big stats.
Matthew Stafford, I'm pretty sure, may have had negative stats.
And then Jonathan Taylor had a big game, so yeah, this one could hurt you. It could be your first loss of the season, huh?
Hopefully the Patriots play.
I think it's a forced win for the Jets. That's what Mally put in the.
I think he might have been doing that trolling because he said, it looks like I'm not playing tonight, and took a picture of all kinds of alcohol. He might have did that trolling. So I'm hoping that's the case, and I hope the Patriots play.
Of course.
And then, I don't know if Khalif Raymond's going to get me a lot of points because it is a sim game, even though the Titans are getting the win on that. And I am the only one to mess up this week. I started Alan Lazard, not paying attention.
Oh.
And he's on a bye this week. And, and TJ Hawkinson was on my bench, but I doubt that he did any better than what he's been doing.
I saw him get a couple catches in the game, but I couldn't tell you how many.
Yeah, either way, definitely oversight by me, but we'll see exactly what happens going forward. Hopefully, Philip Lindsay has a big game.
2 for Hawkinson.
Oh.
2 for
Just
37. But,
not bad, 5 points.
Matthew Stafford threw 4 interceptions and only had 100-plus yards. He actually got burned negative 134.
That works out in my favor for sure. Yeah. This one's going to be another close one, I think, between me and Byrne, just like drama and natural.
Yeah, you could close that gap, 17 points, depending on what Philip Lindsay does. If he has a big game that we know he can, that could really close the gap there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Our next matchup, I got JP up against Malirojo. Right now we're looking at a 23-point spread. Cam Newton hadn't played yet. Etienne with the Jags. I forgot the story there. Kenny Golladay, I know he didn't have a great day. But
no, the
Jags are getting a forced loss against the Titans. That's who's getting the forced loss.
Oh yeah, so this one might be Malirojo's game then. Let's see, Aaron. Like I'm trying to see if he's got anybody else that could put up some points for him.
Ross St. Brown.
Well, yeah, he just played. Trey Nixon.
Yeah. Trey Nixon.
Yeah, the outcome of this game might be sold unless Cam Newton has an amazing passing day, which the natural has expressed more than once that he's just not happy with how Cam is throwing the ball.
Yeah, you could see the backup come in sooner rather than later.
Oh, yeah.
Felipe Franks, you can see him a lot sooner rather than later. And I don't see FK coming back from this. I think it's going to be Malirojo. He's definitely going to get the win, in my opinion. It's too much of a spread, and Travis Etienne is not going to get a lot of points because he's getting a forced loss, so he's not going to see a lot of touchdowns. And then Cam Newton, it all depends if Natural's playing and how he's feeling, so that's up in the air as well. But we'll see what happens, but it's going to take a miracle for FK for him to come back.
Very true, very
true. The Texans.
Go ahead.
Texans defense got him the second most points on his team this week.
Wow.
Yeah. Shameless plug for your defense.
Yeah, they're doing a lot better this season than last season.
Well,
I also played the computer, so
Oh, okay. Tell the whole story.
It was smart of him. It was smart of him to pick the Texans this week, knowing that we were playing the Rams. So I think we kind of talked about anyone playing the Rams. Well, at least that was before. We'll see what new user gets the Rams this week, but
very true. Coming up,
could be a different story come next week.
Very true. We don't know. That's something I'm sure myself and Nefarious are keeping our eye on, just waiting to see who that's going to be. Last matchup of week 7, we have Q and Goose, myself. As of right now, Q has this one in the bag, to say the least. Melvin Gordon was a letdown. Kareem Hunt, I was on the fence because I knew HD was airing the ball out more. CD Lamb, I didn't really get any points from I got the most points from my Ravens defense, which I'm glad I picked them up. 30 points from the defense, that's big.
Oh yeah, that was a huge pull for you. Other than that, it would be a complete blowout because all your guys just seem to disappear this week. Melvin Gordon, Kareem Hunt, even CD Lamb and Brandon Cooks just absolutely not involved in their offenses this week. So it was definitely a tough week for you.
Yeah.
But that Ravens defense absolutely showed up.
Yeah, there's no way I can come back off of this one. It's just not possible. So, yeah, good win for Q there.
The Man-Bird has a last season type of performance where he has 200+ yards and 3-4 touchdowns.
True. That would make the spread there. But other than that,
so we'll see.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
That's a rough one. The first week of content points being handed out for wins. Looks like you're gonna just miss out against Q here.
Hey, it happens. It happens.
The Ravens defense, though,
Yeah.
killing it for you.
Yeah, if they can keep that
great
up,
pick
I
up
think
there.
that'll lead to some wins if they can keep that up. All right, we're moving right along. We got now. Let me see what we got here. It helps. Oh, I was looking at Molly's comment. Thanks for Molly being here in the chat. Ant Dog's with us here in the chat. Shout out to Vlog Dave hanging out. All right, so anyway, we're back here. He says that every time I score, well, I'm not playing. It's a fantasy report, so well, guess I won't be saying that. Thanks for using those points on the channel. But so let's get into what we got coming up on week 8, right?
Yep, let's jump into our stardom sit-ems. One from each position. If you want to lead it off for us, Fallen, you got the QBs.
Yeah, absolutely. So for QBs for my stardom, and it's actually a guy that I picked up this week because the Chargers have a bye week next week, and Zach Wilson. If you don't know who LQ is using at quarterback, or if you don't follow the Bears at all, you may hear Zach Wilson and not know who he's even playing for. But the Bears' offense is second in the league with 2,900 yards, and they're, I believe, sixth in the league in passing yards. So this week they play against the Packers, who's one of the top 10 worst defense in the league. So I think Wilson's going to have a really good game this week. And then for my sit-ems, a guy who we just saw scored negative points, and he's playing a really tough defense this week in the 49ers, Matthew Stafford. So I think Cookie is kind of finding himself, and he's going back and forth between Taysom Hill and Matthew Stafford. And it looks like Stafford's going to be he's kind of on the losing end there because Taysom Hill actually had more points this week than Stafford did. And I don't think Stafford's going to have a very good week this week playing against that 49ers defense.
You mean the Ravens?
No. Stafford plays on the Lions. He plays the 49ers defense this week.
Week 8, he's playing Week 8, he's playing the Ravens.
Yeah.
Well, Week 8. I think you're looking at Week 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, either way, that applies for the Ravens too. That's what I was looking at. Because we just saw Baker Mayfield throw a ton of picks against the Ravens defense, and the Ravens scored. So I don't think Stafford's going to have a very good day. I don't think he'll have negative points again, but I would sit him this week and maybe look for a new quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. That Lions coming off a tough loss against, and then he's going up against that stout Ravens defense that has a great pass rush and a really good user on that side. So it's definitely going to be a tough one, especially the way he's using Taysom Hill as well, taking away snaps from Matthew Stafford. And I also agree with your stardom for the Bears quarterback, that Packers defense. Prone to, giving up big yardage. I think it's more on the ground than in the air. But given the user-to-user matchup, I think Noble will definitely take advantage of the Packers in that defense.
I can see the same.
All right, let's jump into our running backs. If you want to handle this one, Goose.
Yeah, so looking at the matchups once again, just kind of looking at everything when I paired, I kind of looked to figure out who would be my stardom running back. I actually looked at offensive lines, try to match up against defensive guys. And picking on the new user yet again, I'm gonna have to go with Jonathan Taylor being my stardom. The Bills' defensive line isn't bad. It's just when I really looked at offensive line, I was really impressed by the Colts' offensive line, especially that left side. This is not a scouting report, but I do believe Jonathan Taylor will be your guy to go to. New users still getting acclimated to PML and having to go up against that offensive line and Jonathan Taylor with that ability and all that speed. He would be my stardom guy for the week. My sit-em is anybody playing against the Ravens this week. I know that Cookie uses his DeAndre Swift more as a receiver, in the flats and whatnot, but I just don't see Swift being a good move this week against the Ravens defense. I would not run any running back against the Ravens defense, so that's always going to be my sit-em.
Yeah, that Ravens defense is a problem right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. And we saw last season Swift was one of the league leaders in catches, and I think this season he's kind of getting away from that
Yeah.
because Swift only has 7 catches for 75 yards, so you can't even trust Swift to be used in the receiving game. So I definitely agree with that, Sidham.
Yeah, that not just that, but when I also look at the fact that he's got the rookie out wide, so he's definitely putting more catches there. It just doesn't leave room for Swift. I mean, I believe he's tried to trade Swift more than once, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he really likes Swift in that backfield for some reason. But moving on to the wide receivers, what I got for stardom for wide receivers is I'm going to go with Jamar Chase up against the Indianapolis Colts. I like the Bills user. I mean, the way he entered chat and the way people reacted. I think he might be a player moving forward. So I'm going to take a shot in the dark and go Jamar Chase up against the Indianapolis Colts for my stardom. And then for my situm, I am going to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Against that Ravens defense. I mean, anybody going up against that Ravens defense at this point, you're going to sit because you don't know what you're going to get. That Ravens defense is stout and it's performing at a really high level. I mean, Jarvis Landry had a good game this past game, but I think that that's going to be a little different when the Ravens go up against the Lions. Knowing the user on the other side, like when Bacon saw the user on the other side when he went up against the Browns, you lay off the pedal a little bit. You're not as focused. But I think when he goes up against Cookie Boy, he is going to be absolutely focused, and he's definitely going to want to make a statement game by controlling that game and burying the Lions the best he can.
Shout out Molly in the chat. He just said he heard a rumor that the Bills users was undefeated 3 seasons in another league that we found him. That'd be interesting. I mean, we've seen how that's played out in PML, and so we don't know what to expect. But as far as fantasy goes, even if he doesn't win the game, that could equal points. I'm kind of hoping so because I'm pretty sure I'm going to start Josh Allen. So I expect him to air the ball out a lot. I feel like most users come in, they usually start out airing the ball before they say, hey, let me take the air out. So I think you got a great stardom, and I think Josh Allen will be active as well.
Oh yeah, I agree. So we'll see how it plans out. It's kind of a shot in the dark, but I think Jamar Chase is going to have a excellent game this week. Moving on to the tight ends, stardom sitting for tight ends. I'm going to lean towards, when it comes to a tight end, I am going to lean towards Darren Waller against the New York Giants. Darren Waller is a key component to that Raiders offense. And the Giants, even though it's a good user on the other side, they don't have a great defense, and their linebackers are one of the reasons that their defense isn't too great. I don't think they cover the pass well. I think it's a decent defense when it comes to the run, but when it comes to the pass, I don't think he has the weapons in the defensive backfield and also in the linebacker position to keep teams off the board that way. So I think Darren Waller is going to get his in this game. That's why I like that matchup. And then what I'm going to do for my situm this week for tight ends, it's going to be. For tight ends, I am going to go with. I had him here. Hold on one second. Noah Fant from the Broncos. Noah Fant. I don't like the matchup against the Washington football team. Last week he had a decent matchup? He played the Eagles. The week before he played the Lions, and he had a really good game against the Lions. That was the Lions. Is Cookie Boy. Cookie Boy's a really good user, and that defense seems to be really, really tuned in at this time. I mean, again, with Cookie Boy, he held them to 6 points, or that game was actually a DC, if I'm not mistaken. So it might have been more than 6 points, but that Washington football defense has a favorable matchup against the Broncos. So that's why I'm going with Noah Fant as the situm. And if I wanted to stick with this game, Gerald Everett would be a stardom as well. If I didn't go with Darren Waller.
Yeah.
So with that game, you could get a stardom and a sit-em just in that game.
Yeah, I think that definitely will be a game that you could put some fantasy stock into if you have any players on that Washington football team roster. Whoever has that Washington football defense, I might expect a big game here. I'm not sure. I didn't even realize we had a new Broncos user. Did y'all know that?
I think he just switched his name.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's
okay.
You got everybody
like
in here confused.
Yeah, I just
not.
when did that happen? Okay. Well, that's a different conversation. Yeah, that has nothing to do with what we're doing here. Are we moving to defenses, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep, move on to defenses. Fallen, you could take the wheel on the defenses.
Yeah. So I think when you think about this defense, you don't quite hear about them too often. Outside of maybe last week because they had a great game against the Eagles. The Giants defense and Q, I think his defense is quietly having a good season, but they're playing against the Raiders this week, and I think that's a favorable matchup for his defense. Looking at the stats right now, I believe he's one of the top in interceptions.
Yes, he is.
He's got 25 interceptions for the year. That's one less than the Ravens. The Ravens are number one in interceptions. So, interceptions are going to get you points. And I think he has a great matchup against the Raiders, who are really struggling this season. And I think the Raiders are going to look to air out the ball, and Q can come away with maybe 4 or 5 interceptions.
That's what I would expect. So I like that pick a lot because I would expect the same thing.
Yeah, that's a really good pick.
And then for defense, for Sidham, I'd actually said my defense this week. Last season, played the Patriots twice. Had some pretty awful defense. So I'm going to try to do a little bit different, but I don't trust my defense in scoring as many points fantasy wise. So I believe it's FKJNP who has them. I would definitely sit them this week against the Patriots.
Another game I looked at. Did anybody pick the Colts defense? Because there's no point in hollering and sit them if nobody picked them. But
yeah, I don't think anybody has them currently. Yeah, I recently dropped them. I had them for 1 week.
As I say, yeah, I know Nefarious picked them up when they played the Rams, but I think they're one of those defenses that kind of go in and out.
Matchup type defense.
Matchup wise.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like to start them and sit-ems this week. And how much longer do our users have to get their lineups in, starters for the week?
So we are an hour away. So 9 o'clock is when I'll start putting in lineups and stuff like that. So we're an hour away from that. So you guys got plenty of time. Honestly, right after I put in the lineups, I mean, tomorrow I would stop putting in my lineup for the following week. I mean, unless the injuries come up, you know exactly who you're going to go with. I mean, it's you kind of know user versus user matchups a little more than you know team versus team matchups. So if you see a user versus user matchup coming up next week, you know where to go. So you can already start doing that now, right after I get the lineups in for this week. Like I said, tomorrow, and set your lineups for next week, and then you can keep going to the end of the whole season if you want, and then just slowly make minor changes here and there. But once I get those lineups in, you could change for the next lineup.
Sounds good. Sounds great. Well, man, I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's some good stuff going here, and make sure you guys remember you get the content point. You get 0.5 or 0.25 for the lineup with no injuries, right?
So that's not approved yet by
just the point for winning.
JT.
Okay, cool. Okay, I got
just
you.
the point for winning is approved by JT so far.
Well, that makes
so
it
we'll
easy to
see
keep up with
moving
anyway.
forward. Yeah. So we'll see moving forward, but right now it's whoever wins this week is going to get 1 content point. So that's going to be good for the winners. Any content point is a good content point in this league, especially with how much you could do with content points.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
And for our viewers, because I'm sure the winners will have a question. With that content point, if you win, how do they get that? Are they going to be automatically assigned, or they got to put something in? Just so everybody listening has that answer.
So basically, what's going to happen is I'm just shooting in the dark here because I haven't really good confirmation from JT. But when we do Dev Gen, JT usually adds it himself. When somebody gets awarded 2 points or 3 points or whatever it is in Dev Gen. So what's going to happen is pretty much the same thing. JT's going to add the point into your total value after I tell him who's won that week. So I'll let him know, and then he'll add it himself.
Yep. So everybody won't have to do anything. If you win, just wait, and it'll get added to your points total.
Yep, if you win and you don't see at in the PML fantasy stuff, then you could message me, but I'm going to at the people that win, and then I'm going to let JT know who won, and JT should know. I'll probably at JT on the original message that states who the winners are.
We got a little action in the chat here. Ant Dog said Falcons defense is underrated. I love it. Are they one of the top free agents on defense? I'm looking at stats right now, but are they on a...
I haven't went into defenses yet, okay. But maybe he's talking about his matchup this week against the Panthers.
Yeah,
that's a good matchup.
Yeah, it could be a solid matchup. So maybe he's talking about that. But I haven't. When it comes to the free agents, I haven't done defenses yet. That might be something I add in. But keeping up with what I have there is definitely time consuming. So I'm going to be in and out of that, trying to update as much as I can.
They're bottom 15 against the pass and the run, so I don't know. We'll see, but just we got a little action in the chat. I love it. That's part of doing a live show. But I think that's what we got for this week, right?
Yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it. Unless you guys can think of something else you want to bring up. I know you like to go over the buys this week.
Yep, and that's what I was just about to get into. So this week we actually have the most teams on a bye that we've seen so far. So 6 teams on a bye this week. You got the Steelers, the Browns, the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. So definitely want to pay attention to your lineups. That's a lot of teams, and those are a few teams that I know that there's a lot of players selected for those teams. So pay attention to it.
Awesome. Sounds great. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in with us, man. Once again, another episode here. Like I said, we're rebranded now as the Red Zone Fantasy Report, PML Red Zone Fantasy Report.
I like that.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I dropped the image in the chat, by the way, guys. It took me forever, but I found it. I had it in the wrong folder, but I found it. But as always, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back next 80-game week with another episode. Make sure you get those lineups in. You got about an hour. And, like you said, you can get them going forward. Also, but it's your boy Gooseneck Gamer. Falling with me, Nefarious with me. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys.